Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone in the franchise world. My name is Paul Segreto, and this is Franchise Today. I do apologize. We're having some technical difficulties in our Franchise Today jingle by Eric Badland's Booker. It just did not play. It shows that it's playing. It probably is going to pop in at
It's going to start. Yeah.
And I have my co-host Stan Friedman on with me. Stan, I mean, every so often we get hit with this, but it seems very apropos during the dog days of summer that Badlands is just spinning out there.
He's going to pop in here. I think that happened once before in the middle of us talking after we missed the cue.
Stan the man, Paul Segreto.
We'll let it go through.
Time to show you the way of franchising today. Hey, do you possess the spirit of an entrepreneur? Or lay your business plan down like a rug or a floor? Or maybe you have a dream of opening a chain of delis, or whatever passion lights that pilot light under your belly. Or do you want to start a business, fam, using the proven trademark from another brand? And grow together and expand like a rage of fire, from a single to a multi-unit empire. Well, pay attention to this podcast that you hear and streaming in HD, so fine-tune both of your ears. And Stan and Paul lays down the law. Whether you want to be a franchisee or a franchisor, it's all about sustainable growth, the sensible franchising, proven concepts and smart enterprising. So use your left and right side of your brain and absorb this knowledge here. Franchising today, Badlands, baby. Franchising today, sustainable growth, the sensible franchising. Franchise today, sustainable growth, the sensible franchising. Franchise today, franchise today, franchise today, yeah.
Well, again, my name is Paul Segreto, and this is Franchise Today. Stan, I think the HD that Badlands Booker was referring to might be hardly dependable, as we had a technical difficulty in launching today's jingle. Anyway, dog days of
it's a
summer,
good thing.
Stan, I know. Yeah. We're sitting here in Houston, Texas today, where the forecast is for 94, 95 degrees with like 90% humidity. The next 3 days are going to be 100 plus. We are in the throes of summer.
Well, the good news is here, Paul, hot as it might be, we don't even need an arc like they need up in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic right now to get around. Wow, it's been a crazy summer for weather up there. But you know what? It's a good thing we don't take ourselves too seriously. And, we just kind of roll with the punches here, don't we? We got to figure that out with Badlands, though. It's happened twice now, so something's going on with that.
Yeah, definitely has happened. Like I said, just remind our audience, we are live. We love the transparency about being live, but, of course, along with that, comes some incidents and some challenges. But we are here, and of course, we know franchising, at least from the event standpoint, has come to a screeching halt as many of us are enjoying some, time off and relaxing and ready to hit it hard again in the next month. And but, of course, we're doing some things along with a new group that we formed, Franchise Success Media, that now has Franchise Today under its umbrella, as well as my company, Franchise Foundry. And Stan, as we've kind of let the audience know over the last few weeks, I have a new podcast coming out, Franchising and You. It's going to air live on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Blog Talk Radio. And it's a program that's going to be entirely focused on franchise candidates. It's going to be everything about franchising, understanding franchising, as well as a host of different things about owning a business and entrepreneurship. And I'm really proud to have 3 sponsors for the show. One is Tom Spadia and his law firm of Spadia and Lignana out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Sherry Sieber and her team at Fran Fund is another sponsor, and David Simmons from the Professional Real Estate Group Retail Solutions, all sponsors for the show, really have been helping me put some good content together. And I am even more proud to announce and let everybody know that my co-host Stan Friedman will be my first guest on Franchise Today, and we'll be talking about kind of the ABCs and XYZs of franchising and everything in between, very much like Stan has done at a number of franchise events, including MFE Expos. Stan, I'm really thankful you were able to be my first guest on Franchising and You.
Now that I know it's a sponsored event, Paul, I guess I have to clean up my act and straighten up and fly right, huh? I can't be irreverent.
I guess
I can't just have a good time, right?
Nah, no, it's still full of transparency. It is live. We have to have a good time doing it, but more importantly, this is just to share information about what we know is a great business model, and of course I'm talking about franchising. When I researched this, even going back 5 years, 4 years, last year, earlier this year, I really didn't find anything on a national scale. There's some small little shows that kind of talk about the fundamentals of franchising and business ownership, but there's really not a lot. And I'm really excited. Sherry Sieber and her team will be providing us a bunch of information about all the ins and outs of funding a franchise, 401k rollovers, SBA loans, traditional, non-conventional, assets-backed loans. We'll be talking about with Tom Spady about understanding the FDD, the understanding the relationship between franchisor and franchisee, and a host of other things. And then, of course, David Simmons and the team at Retail Solutions will be sharing information, be our resident expert on all things real estate, negotiations, understanding tenant improvement allowances, common area maintenance, also known as triple net. I mean, just going to be a great bit of information. We'll be rolling out the information as we transcribe the podcasts and develop some ebooks and of course, a lot of social media. And I'm just excited about it.
Well, I can hear that, and it's kind of neat to do it, Paul. It's fun. When I do the A to Z's of buying a franchise for MFV Expos, it was fun for me to be able to just impart years' worth of knowledge to people who, at the very beginning of the session, I always told the audience that what you do here, buy or no buy, whether you buy a franchise or don't, whether you buy this one or that one, I don't have a horse in this race. I'm not going to receive any economic value coming my way as the result of any decisions you make. So the information I'm sharing is purely in your best interest. I don't have a horse in the race. And, it's fun to help people just get their starting line mentality in order. And, usually people are starting to think about a franchise so early on in the process, they think that something they enjoy being a consumer of might be a great thing to be an owner of. And we all know that eating sausage and making sausage don't look the same. And so people really standing back early on don't really have a clue what they want to do yet. And it's fun to help them mold the clay and introspectively think more about what they've got passion for and what they ought to be thinking about, as the next step in their life professionally, for the right reasons, not just because they think it would be fun or something that looks good, without really understanding the impact of what a day in their life will look like as an operator of that business. Look forward to being your guest as you're hosting your first show on Saturday. It's going to be fun for me too. I
really appreciate that, Stan. As Franchise Foundry has continue to grow, now representing 22 brands across the country, across a multitude of industry segments at different investment levels. We're obviously being exposed to a wider range of franchise candidates. And what I'm still amazed about, and of course, we know how much I feel about even large corporations not understanding franchising, with the whole American Express small business Saturday debacle going back, 4 or 5 years, and talking to the city council in the city of Seattle, which was imposing some ridiculous sanctions. I call them sanctions, but just tying their hands, making the franchise businesses accommodate the increased minimum wage a year earlier than independent businesses, and of course now candidates that just don't really understand franchising, the principles of it. I mean, I hear so many times, people say, "Oh, franchising, that's nothing more than, a pyramid scheme." And on the other end of the spectrum, franchising, it's McDonald's. Of course, they got an advantage. McDonald's is spending billions of dollars on behalf of franchisees, when so many people don't realize franchising is never anything more than a mom and pop that is under a bigger brand. And in many cases, when they're starting out in a new market, they are right there next to the mom and pop on Main Street, USA.
You got it.
Anyway, and of course, we know there were great stories in franchising that all started from, mom and pop independent businesses. And of course, we like to extract a lot of that knowledge and share a lot of that experience here on Franchise Today. That's all about sustainable, sensible franchising. And we have a great guest with us today. And I'll read a quote that I found in doing my diligence for today's show. And our guest, Oscar Sanin, the founder and CEO of Pilates ProWorks, said, "Since the day it came to fruition, Pilates ProWorks has stayed true to its mission in providing affordable access to high-energy, Pilates-based group fitness classes that engage the core, break the norm, and foster a sense of community and camaraderie among our members." Very well said. Oscar, welcome to Franchise Today.
Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, thank you. And you have an interesting story to tell, and I know our listeners are really going to be interested in it. And as we discussed before the show, we'd like, as we do with all our guests, to take us back, Oscar, the individual, so to speak, take us way back when you might have first started about, thinking about business or where you were going to go in your career, the events that transpired, all the way to the point when you actually made a decision to start franchising. Because as we say on Franchise Today, we never really seek out franchising early on in our lives, and certainly early on in our careers. It usually finds us at some point. So we'll rewind, take us back as far as you'd like, and share some of your story.
Thank you, Paul. So certainly I wasn't planning on franchising when I started my business. Back in 2009, I opened my first location in San Francisco, California, and from the minute I started, the business took off. So as an entrepreneur, you start kind of looking at the bigger picture and where am I gonna go next. So I decided to start opening my own locations. I opened, in the following years, I opened 4 new locations. And it was at that point where I realized that doing it all on my own, having personal guarantees around the world or around the country, it was something unsustainable. So franchising found me. It was basically the short story of it. back in 2009, there was still, a great opportunities for real estate, and my vision started getting just way too far for what I could actually do. Running businesses 3,000 miles away from where I was living, and luckily, I met people back in 2014 that guided me, introduced me to franchising, and that's when we started. A little bit about me, Paul and Stan. I am Colombian. My background is in economics and business. The concept of my brand started because I was in a plane crash in 1994, and luckily I survived, and everybody survived. But by 2003, all the the impact on my back and everything that I had from the crash, it started catching up with me, and I ended up being in really bad shape. I was barely able to walk in 2003, 2004. So out of desperation, I started looking for a solution. It was a little late, but I was looking for a solution. I was living in LA at that time, and several doctors just recommended this, complicated surgeries and all that, and I felt that there was another solution for it. Somehow, I just knew that there was something else that I could do without jeopardizing, the back surgery and that kind of stuff is rarely, it rarely works. So I ended up seeing a doctor. His name is Lionel Hunt, that recommended, he recommended surgery, but he said to me, Oscar, I want to try something with you, and if this doesn't work, I certainly recommend that we perform surgery. And he said, have you ever tried Pilates? And I said, no, I know what it is, but I've never done it. So he recommended me to go to a private practitioner, private trainer, and do 30 consecutive days, very low impact, everything, very well planned according to my, according to the doctor. Surprisingly, 8 days in, I was already, improving at a very, very fast pace. So everything, when somebody shows you the light at the end of the tunnel, you kind of just jump on it, right? And I was really, really excited about. I finished the 30 days. I noticed, the tab was huge. I was back then paying about $125 an hour. And I realized, this is something that I can learn, I can do for myself, and I can certainly, buy a machine and do everything for myself. So I did that and bought my machine, did the Pilates training, and, after a few months, I realized, the machine needs some tweaking for myself. I wasn't thinking of a business at that time. I realized that Joseph Pilates, invented this magnificent equipment back in the 1930s, 1925, and nothing had changed since then. So I've always been very curious about design, and I decided to just basically look at a reformer and make it bigger, better, and, more interesting. So I did that between 2005 and 2007. I had several attempts. I was working with an engineer and an architect, and And then me as the designer, even though, I don't have a degree in design, we put several versions of the FitFormer together. And back in 2007, I ended up with something that I was really happy with. And that's when basically I thought, you know what, maybe there is an opportunity here. I called a friend back in Palm Springs that owns a Pilates studio, and I asked him if I could put my machine in his studio and to get some feedback. And he said, absolutely, bring it here, leave it here. So I did that, and about 10 days after, I get a call from him saying, you know what, Oscar, since I put your machine in my studio, people are coming earlier or booking specifically your reformer, that is now called a FitFormer, because they really want to work the workout on your machine. And that's when I realized, okay, maybe there's really a great opportunity here. And at that point, I started working with a couple of fitness consultants, and we put together a workout that is more specific to this equipment. It's Pilates-based, because we use all the basics of Pilates, but we added, hundreds of exercises that are commonly done at any gym or, CrossFit facility, you name it. And by 2009, I had a workout prepared machine that was ready to go for commercial purposes. So I decided to move to San Francisco, open the first location, and here we are.
What an amazing story! I mean, all this out of a horrible event in your life. So much good has come. And I remember reading that you were reluctant to consider even growing the business into a franchise, but I'd love to understand what you were doing before the crash. You said your background was economics, but that you had entrepreneurship in your blood too. So was there any prior experience in business ownership and franchising, or did that all come to you new as a result of this too?
In business ownership, yes, not in franchising. Right after school, I was working for a family business. My family is in the coffee business, so I did that for a few years. In the year 2000, things in Colombia were pretty bad. So basically, I was forced to leave the country back then, and I moved to LA just to continue my studies, and I went to UCLA. And when I went to UCLA, I started a business. I was in the closed captioning and subtitling business in LA. I had a contract with a couple of the big studios in LA, and I was doing all the DVD and sitcoms and all that for South America. And I was doing that throughout the process of doing imagining a new reformer, a new FitFormer, a new and again, this was initially just thought out for me. I've never have been in the fitness industry, nothing about it, but it was coming to me, to the realization that there was something really great here that everybody should take advantage of. I was looking into the price point of the studios back then, and I thought, how can people really afford something like this? So let's just make it better and apply, what I knew in business to Pilates ProWorks.
So you went from having your machine in studios of others to formulating a plan for opening up your own concept. Tell us a little bit about that transition and how that occurred.
Well, it was, validating the concept. The only option I had was to just put it at somebody else's traditional studio. They were doing the traditional Pilates workout in my machine, but I knew, my machine could go further. I didn't have any other option to just validate the concept with traditional studios. And when I got this, amazing feedback, that's when I decided, let's document a fantastic workout. Let's document a fantastic workout that can be, just taken globally if we can. Hello.
Did we lose our guest?
Well, of course, technical difficulties again. Obviously, I was bumped off. You're listening to Franchise Today, where we're speaking today with Oscar Sanin, founder and CEO of Pilates ProWorks. Franchise Today is brought to you by FRM Solutions, where Stan Friedman and his team offers best-in-class CRM. Did I interrupt you? Is that what happened? I apologize. Is that what actually happened, Sam?
Well, I'm here, guys. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Go ahead, and then I'll go into a mid-show break, Oscar. Continue what you were saying. I apologize.
No, I think we were interrupted when I was saying that I documented the workout, and that's when I decided to just basically try to make this, interesting for the consumer, and perhaps just make it a global recognized brand.
Well, I appreciate that, and certainly I apologize for the technology today. Seems like Blog Talk Radio has been having some issues. Stan, are you still on the air?
I'm right here with you, Paul.
You're right here with us. Okay, great. Well, I'll go into a mid-show break, Stan. You're listening to Franchise Today, where we're speaking today with Oscar Sanin, founder and CEO of Pilates ProWorks. Franchise Today, of course, is brought to you by FRM Solutions, where Stan Friedman and his excellent team offers best-in-class CRM and document management software designed specifically for franchising. FRM empowers real-time business intelligence, communication, and collaboration between all members of the franchisor team and prospective as well as existing franchisees. This enables you to simply and seamlessly track, access, and manage all messages to and from prospective and existing franchisees, including text. Legal and compliance is simplified as well with FRM's document management, and even site visits can be digitally facilitated and scored with FRM. So make today the day you give FRM a look and assure that all of your candidate and franchisee correspondence, including text messages, are being permanently tracked and stored in candidate and franchisee records. FRM even provides state-of-the-art digital experiences for your prospective franchisees, replacing the old-style virtual brochures. No long-term contracts, multiple upgrades each year at no additional cost, no excuses, just solutions on the web at frmsolutions.com.
Franchise Today is also brought to you by the Franchise Foundry, where Paul and his team have been bringing emerging brands to market for more than 30 years. The Franchise Foundry fosters healthy, sustainable growth for their clients, the kind that comes from experience. Franchise Foundry provides both coaching and consulting, a hybrid approach that delivers more effective solutions for both the franchisor's corporate team as well as for their franchisees. The Franchise Foundry team is rich in practical, hands-on experience and expertise with general business management, operational and change management, digital marketing, and, of course, franchise recruitment and development. Plus, The Foundry team can also assist with creating roadmaps for potential mergers and acquisitions and provide the guidance needed to navigate them. Learn more about Paul Segreto and the Franchise Foundry, along with their expanding list of clients, at www.franchisefoundry.com. That's www.franchisefoundry.com.
Oscar, again, I apologize for our technical difficulties today. If you would, tell us what consumers can expect when they walk into one of your boutique studios.
Sure. The consumer can expect a lot of people that are committed to their workouts, people that are that make healthy lifestyle choices, people that like a challenge, people that want to see physical results, people that want to invest in themselves, people that support and engage with their community, a fantastic team that are going to do always their best to serve them, and very beautiful facilities and clean facilities, and an incredible workout.
How do consumers find out about you and the difference between what you've done to modify Pilates from the standard course that most people know about?
So we haven't pursued yet. We're not advertising our franchise program yet. We are about to start. So far, the 17 units, well, almost 18 units, we're opening one in the upcoming months, have been all word of mouth, basically people that have been clients that decide to open their own studio. I have been preparing in the last couple of years to be able to expedite the growth, and in the upcoming months, we're launching different campaigns that are gonna, people are gonna see, and hopefully, leads from, around the country and around the world to start popping in. But so far, Stan, is all word of mouth.
So my question was focused more toward the consumer side. Before we'll talk more about the franchising side in a few moments. But consumers that don't know that there's an alternative to Pilates, or they don't know that there's an alternative machine and program to the standard, well-known Pilates program, how do those consumers learn that the opportunity for something a little bit different is available in the market?
Well, that's a good question and kind of a difficult question, because there is a segment of the population that know about traditional Pilates. It's becoming more popular. There are a couple of brands that are very focused on traditional, and our challenge is to initially get those customers that are already familiar with Pilates to give us a try. When we get people that come from traditional studios to Pilates ProWorks, they find themselves in a slightly different environment with more a more approachable and inspiring environment in terms of the workouts and everything we do around here. We're different than the traditional Pilates studio. We have larger groups, we have bigger machines, we have loud music. We have these things that people immediately know the difference, and that's when we we get the new customers, and the new customers that are interested in franchising, they come directly to me. Did I answer your question?
Absolutely.
Yes, and thank you for sharing that, Oscar. So we will shift, into franchising right now, and you said, customers that are interested in the concept and the opportunity itself. What do you look for in a franchisee, in a prospective franchisee? What is the type of individual you're looking for?
I'm looking for people that are committed. I think I've noticed that the franchisee that is fully committed to the unit is the one that performs best. Not that I fully require that you have to be, this is the only job that you can have. No, but I've learned throughout this process that if you take care of the business is going to take care of you. There's the perfect franchisee, again, and is similar to the customer profile. It's somebody that is committed, that is a conscious consumer, that aspires to always be better, that is really, really excited about the challenges, that celebrates individualism, that is very, very engaged with the community. And a lot of our franchisees have made the shift from corporate to being your own boss, if you can call it that way. And I think it's really rewarding to me when people jump into this venture, and they're of course very afraid of, I'm leaving my job to fully do this, and after a few months they start seeing results. It's very exciting and it's very rewarding. So we look for people that are, capable of making those choices and excited about what we do. We are a Pilates-based studio. We offer other side workouts as well, but mainly just people that love what we do, and they feel that our brand also reflects in their personality.
So it's very interesting, as you say, a lot of customers through the word of mouth get to know about the franchise opportunity. And you're a relatively young company. You have locations from California to Miami and into some international markets. So with such a widespread reach, has all of that occurred through word of mouth?
All of it has been word of mouth today. Yes, we recently opened the Shanghai unit, and we're super excited about that because other leads have come up from clients of the Shanghai studio for other locations in China. So it's I think the workout has been the greatest ambassador. I understand that there is a need in franchising. I don't know if the right word is a need, but let's put it that way. There is a need of doing some PR and marketing about putting the program out there, and we're certainly going to take that step. But we're very grateful that today this all 100% word of mouth.
That's excellent. And in these international markets, are these individual locations, or are they also going to assist in developing more studios in those countries? Next year we're gonna, and sorry I forgot to mention that we're also gonna be doing the area developer FDD. I would like those international territories to be, part of a area developer agreement. It makes it easier.
China is far from here, So
a little bit.
That's the next step. And what I said earlier, it's been the last couple of years I've been just looking for the right people to work with in the expansion program, and I've certainly found that there is a lot of great people in franchising. I mean, it's amazing how you don't know anything about it and you get into the franchising world, and oh my God, it's a lot of fantastic people, people that really know everything about it, and I'm a sponge. I mean, I'm learning a lot from them. I'm so looking forward to continue working with them. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. We've done, a good amount of mistakes in the learning process of franchising, but to date, we feel that we're definitely ready to jump into a faster expansion of our brand.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people say, they're a sponge when they get involved in franchising. And there are so many great people in our great franchising community willing to, and of course, their actions speak louder than words as they continue to give of themselves. And one in particular is sitting in my co-host chair today, who has done so for many, many years across so many different platforms. Franchising is just tremendous, and of course, the world at large is learning more and more about franchising, and especially as we see a lot of international companies or companies overseas looking at their international expansion as here into the United States. So, kudos to you. I mean, that's some good international development that your brand has gone through in a relatively short period of time, and continued success in those markets. Oscar, so you talk a lot about individuals, consumers, see the concept, they experience it, and then of course they want to open their own studio. And as you said, all the expansion has been derived from those type of referrals, that type of word of mouth. Are you also looking for multi-unit operators at this time here in the United States?
I am. That is certainly the next step, and I am going to be working with a specific team that are going to be selling the multi-unit program. I mean, all that is getting, in place as we speak.
So, Oscar, it occurs to me that for a consumer to fall in love with the brand and then be able to acquire the rights to own and operate, they don't necessarily have any skills that are Pilates related. Tell us how that looks for a new franchise owner. In fact, more specifically, tell us what a day in the life of a franchisee would look like. What does the franchisee spend the majority of his or her time doing on a daily basis?
Okay, so let me start by answering that question, and I'll go back to the first one. The daily life of a franchisee is is acting very professional and customer focused. That is mainly what I'm expecting of a franchisee. So if the franchisee is focused on the customer, there's a lot of things that are gonna come organically from that. Is the person is gonna be health centered, because the customers that come to our studio are basically health center people. I mean, it's obvious if they come to a fitness studio, they're health center. If the franchisee is customer focused, it's going to be a courteous person. It's going to be a supportive person. It's going to be an approachable person, and very important, it's going to be an inspiring person. So the franchisee gets fully involved in the daily operations of the studio, and it sort of comes organically, naturally, that they have to, be leaders in the community, leaders at the studio, and there is a little bit of pressure on sort of becoming an inspiring part of the studio. How do you how do you present yourself in front of your customers? And so the daily life of a franchisee is basically working closely with the community. Now, going back to your first question, the
day in the life experience.
I'm sorry, I lost you for a second. What's that?
I'm sorry. I thought you were having a difficulty recalling the question. I just wanted to bring it back around for you.
Yeah, but I lost you for a second.
Okay. Well, no. Continue on then. Continue.
I'm sorry. So I think mainly the daily life of somebody at the studio is working with professional instructors to continue to innovate the class offerings, to maintain a supportive environment, to show the best customer experience, and to be efficient with your team members and the customers, to try to promote a healthy lifestyle.
Excellent. I think we may have lost Mr. Segreto again. We're having a really rough time here today with technology, my friends. Tell us about the entry costs for a typical franchise opportunity.
The entry cost is $189,000. That basically, and that's including the equipment and all the startup costs. As you know, it's different to open a studio in in Miami than it is in New York, in Manhattan. But the entry cost is about $189,000.
Sure, yeah.
And I think
real estate costs definitely going to play into it. Yeah, you got me back. Boy, I tell you, I really do apologize for Blog Talk Radio today. Really great stuff, Oscar. I love the story. It seems like you're now disrupting, this segment of fitness by the development of the equipment that you've had. Out of necessity for yourself. I mean, certainly, proof is in the pudding. You definitely have done a good job in a relatively, short period of time. And before we ask about how people can learn about the brand, what is your vision for the future with your brand that, as you said, now you're positioned for a more accelerated growth mode?
My vision is to become a globally recognized brand known for innovating the traditional Pilates method and making its challenging core fitness classes accessible and affordable to everyone.
Well, it sounds like you're well on your way, and I just can't get my mind off the fact that so much good has come out of such a horrible experience in your life, and now that you've had to go through that to get to where you are, and the ability to then share it with others, both in terms of the experience they have in your studios, as well as those who are joining you as franchisees to own and operate their own as well. That to me is like out of the ashes comes the phoenix, and this is a great story. Oscar, please share with the audience how they can find you on the web and where they can learn more about opportunities for the brand.
Our website is Pilates-ProWorks.com. We have a link on our website for franchising information. There is a simple form there that they can fill out, and we'll immediately get back to them. We're really interested in expanding our brand, and we're looking forward to just to see people wanting to know more about us.
Excellent. Appreciate it. And Oscar, we really appreciate you being our guest today on Franchise Day. And again, one last time, I do apologize for our technical difficulties today. Thank you again.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate very much your time and your willingness to, talking to me, and thank you for the compliments. And I really, really appreciate this opportunity.
All the best to you, Oscar.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
We'd also like to thank Bailey Hewitt and the great team at All Points PR for providing us yet another great guest. And, of course, we also appreciate the efforts by BizCom PR and Fishman Public Relations, who also provides us with some great guests. Again, that all comes down to collaboration in our great community, Stan.
Yeah, and we also should thank the audience for putting up with our ineptitude in running a program on Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I mean, if this was, I think we've had a couple of weeks where we've had challenges, but I think this one is going to be a prize winner for us, Paul. So I hope the audience forgives us and comes back again next week and we get it right for them.
Yep, absolutely. So while we're on that note, until next week, my name is Paul Segreto, wishing you the best, the very best, in this great thing called franchising. And Franchise Today is out.
Franchise Pros, Stan the Man, Paul Segreto. Time to show you the way of franchising today. Hey, do you possess the spirit of an entrepreneur? Wanna lay your business plan down like a rug or a floor? Or maybe you have a dream of opening a chain of delis, or whatever passion lights that pilot light under your belly. Or do you want to start a business, fam, using the proven trademark from another brand? And grow together and expand like a rage of fire, from a single to a multi-unit empire. Well, pay attention to this podcast that you hear and streaming in HD, so fine-tune both of your ears. And Stan and Paul lays down the law. Whether you want to be a franchisee or a franchisor, it's all about sustainable growth, the sensible franchising, proven concepts, and smart enterprising. So use your left and right side of your brain and absorb this knowledge here. Franchising today, Badlands, baby. Franchising today, sustainable growth, the sensible franchising. Franchise today, sustainable growth, the sensible franchising. Franchise today, franchise today, franchise today, yeah.
When it's PCS time, you know the drill. Pack, research the new base, get the kids in school, because family supports family. At American Public University, we support military families with flexible, affordable online education that moves with you. As a military spouse, your tuition rate is the same as your partner's, just $250 per credit hour. American Public University, education that moves with you. Learn more at apu.apus.edu/military.